People are tired of women.
That's no good. This
Clap for that, you stupid bastard.
fruit basket.
Okay.
Lovely. Hello.
Prepare yourself for the most retarded episode.
I've missed this. It's been 10 days since we last did a podcast.
Yeah, I guess it is.
It's been so long.
We now have a new time, new podcast.
It hurts so bad.
So
And I've had to be like professional-ish for the last week and a half. So
because you've been making tons of
Andy Warhol wig.
you've been making tons of those.
man, I wish I was the wig crafts person.
How has
That
your new
sounds
job
fun.
been going?
It's been great. I've been doing a lot of sewing.
Good.
That's the whole job. I go in. I've been working on these tailor jackets that are really cool for like a mariachi band, and
It's mariachi.
Lin-Manuel Mariachi.
Lin-Manuel Mariachi.
I've been it's been fun. I've been making these mariachi jackets with this German woman who I used to work with before when I was working at
And
this
you're
place
very
before.
racist because you thought she was Swedish.
For some reason, I thought she was. I don't know what made me think that, but no, she's fantastic. I love her. She's so good at what she does.
You told me she was German last night, like over text. I just went to bed listening to Nazi documentaries.
ASMR, Nazi ASMR documentary.
Top 10 Nazi ASMR documentaries. No, it was like about like Ernst Röhm, like who was the gay guy that worked for Hitler, and then Goebbels convinced Hitler to kill him in the Night of the Long Knives. I don't know. I went down like a really dark rabbit hole.
You
Anyway,
sure did.
So you
yeah.
work with a German woman, which is completely unrelated to my Nazi rabbit hole ASMR.
Thank you so much for derailing
Yeah.
what I was talking about. No, I don't care. No, it's just been nice. I've really enjoyed this job, and then everything is falling apart at my previous job.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Well, you know what's funny? So you said that somebody...
It's melting. They are crumbling.
One of the new people that they replaced you with, although they need probably 4 of these people...
Not one of the people they replaced me with started doing this.
Okay.
Committed a felony.
Well, what's interesting is like the person who now runs everything at your old job is a security guard.
Yeah.
Who, by some stroke of genius, is too retarded to screen for the person that would steal $20,000 worth of
It's
merchandise.
incredible.
One might posit the question that this person might not be terribly good at their job.
Oh my god. I know. It's really funny that is the case.
Is
Security
it
guard.
funny? I mean, it's at this point it's like it's what's post funny? Like post
funny.
post
I mean,
Malone.
I'm so post Malone. I've been so it's kind of like in a way rewarding to hear what's going on there after I've left. It's like, oh yeah, I really did dodge a bullet.
Yeah.
I was there for like 8 months and like got out, I think, at the exact right time. It would have been real bad. Things would have gotten real bad if I stayed. Not because of me, but my life would end up real bad.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think you like literally exited at the perfect time.
I think so too.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's just been shit. I mean, like back when the place first opened, people were stealing.
Mm-hmm.
And those 2 people got fired.
Yeah.
And now it's happening again. It's
Hot
so
hands, Hannah.
hot. Red hands, Hannah.
Yeah.
Caught red-handed on
I
camera.
I think that is a derogatory remark towards Native Americans.
Is it?
What like,
Didn't your friend do that photo shoot where he painted his hands red? That's racist.
what friend of mine did this?
Eric.
Oh.
Eric had that really cool stylistic painted red hands, and he was holding a snake, and he was wearing a suit.
You know what's so funny?
That was a really cool. I really like that.
So,
stuff.
like,
it was fucking rad.
I'm not gonna have like any comment or opinion on this, but it was funny. Like, so I have that burner Instagram account and watched his story, and these people just can't stop. It's like the Chauvin verdict comes in, and they're like, every day a black man gets put into, and this is just it's just like, can you just take a break for a day? Like, can you just not be a slacktivist on Instagram for a fucking day? Is it that fucking hard? But no, do you notice this too? Like, are all your, because that burner I have Instagram account, like, they all followed it for that song I put out a long time ago. And so I think maybe 12 people I know follow that account. Yeah. And so, yeah, I followed them back, so I see their stories, and his was kind of seen by accident, but it was like auto playing over to his story, and I was like, I wonder what he's posting about. And of course, it's just this never-ending cavalcade of lazy activism.
I had somebody post today, an acquaintance of mine posted a video of Jen Psaki, and the caption was, when you just can't put up with any more bullshit or whatever. And it's some like reporter asking her like when Biden would consider a fetus like a human being, worthy of being born or whatever. And she goes, are you asking me if the president believes in a woman's right to choose? Yes, he does. Next question. And it's
I love that you kind of did your impression of Jen Psaki like Ben Shapiro, because it's a very similar energy.
Ben Psaki.
Ben Psaki bomb, dude.
We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back. But first, I got to talk about Birch Gold. Yeah, these people don't work for you. Like,
no.
Don't you understand that? It was funny. Like, somebody who used to listen to our podcast, I got into like a long Twitter exchange with him yesterday, and it was friendly, but it was just sort of like he was like laying out all these things that he cares about, all of these problems in the world, you know, who's a Nazi, who isn't, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah,
I really don't care. I use the term politically homeless. It's so true. Like, literally, I have no affiliation.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I have literally no care in the world. And I was telling him that it's difficult to do these now because everything that is happening now, we said was going to happen 8 months ago. So should we just say it again? I mean, it's like, it's whatever. And anyway, so Kamala Harris finally went to the border.
Oh my God, she finally did. I was reading a CNN article this morning, almost killed myself. But before you woke up, you would have woken up to see my body on the sofa, brains blasted out of my forehead. But I was reading a CNN article, and they were like framing it as this like heroic thing to like, and paralleling it with the Trump administration's views on immigration or whatever. And like CNN was like, the Biden administration and Kamala Harris are really working to dismantle the things that the Trump administration built, especially those cages or whatever. And I'm like, what? No. The cages did not come from Trump.
They came from Biden's vice presidency with Obama.
Yeah, dude.
And anyway, so I wanted to just pay homage to this lady who did the best Kamala Harris impression I've ever seen.
I love her.
Oops.
No.
And as we commemorate, hi, I'm Kamala Harris.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And as we commemorate the history of Juneteenth, we must also learn which white people enslaved our ancestors. Okay. That's why I am launching Massa.com. It's like Ancestry.com.
It's so terrible.
Only for finding the white families, who enslaved our ancestors. Okay. And to those white families, do not worry. Do not worry. We just want to talk. And by talk, I do mean claim our assets and legacy admissions to Ivy League schools. Because while a holiday is great, action is even better. I may be half black, but I am fully committed. So to everybody black, happy Juneteenth.
So
Oh my god.
Monster Reese is her username.
She's so good.
She's so good. But like, what's so funny? So like now, just back to back, we're gonna now play just a little bit of Kamala Harris at the board.
Oh my god.
Problems and fixing them in the most constructive and productive way. The president and I are absolutely committed to ensuring that our
She's so sweaty.
is organized
Yeah.
and humane, and I do believe that we are making progress in that.
By the way, on the thumbnail, did you fuck with her teeth?
Of course I did.
Yeah, they're kind of disgusting. Like I was just looking at her bottom teeth.
I always fuck with her face.
Introduce the secretary
Where is he?
of Ali Mayorkas to make a few comments.
But like, just she literally after Tulsi bodied her, she just can't speak right anymore.
She's like incapacitated.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Labor in the Western Hemisphere, and not only do we have a reason to concern ourselves with the root cause
It's like she's reading a Wikipedia page. Like, the United States, okay, is geographically to the north of Mexico, okay,
Okay.
and Florida is a state, okay, that's kind of close to Cuba, okay. So what we have to do now is be better friends, okay, with the country, okay, that is to the south, okay, of the United States, okay, which happens to be geographically, okay, close,
Oh my god.
okay, to the United States.
She is so like I mean, for how long? It's been what? It's now almost July. Yeah, she's fucked up. She's fucked up.
I like to think that she's just drunk all the time.
Yeah, she's fucked up. It's now almost July. It's
Mhm.
July in a couple days.
It's Juneteenth, Sean.
And she's been in office for about 5.5 months. So why did it take her this long to go to the border, and why didn't she actually do anything while she was there? All she did was talk to people.
Well, it's what I told you last time. Is it's like the border is an unfuckable problem. The fucking Saddam Hussein type little cave she dug herself into is that there was so much over the top moralizing, because for some fucking reason today I still would like an answer of why these people were so scared of Donald Trump. I think it was literally just decorum. Like, the dude was just such an asshole and not classy that it made all of them go insane. And so, like, literally she said babies in cages as many times as Klobuchar told her Snow Woman story.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So now she's left with this issue that every administration just kicks a can down the road because it can't be solved. Because largely, particularly Honduras and Guatemala, there's all these migrants because we played fuck around down there during the Reagan administration.
Yeah.
And they'll never admit it because Democrats are Republicans. Like, they're all the same fucking thing. So, but the problem now, and why I think the Bidens are just fucking with her by making her deal with this problem, is like, okay, well, you were loud and noisy about this issue for so fucking long on the campaign trail. You called now your president a fucking racist on national TV. So, hey, dumb bitch, you go deal with it now. And now we're reaping the benefits of how ridiculous and terrible she is at this. And what's funny is that, again, like, it's pretty perfect for her. Like, literally sucked and fucked her way up to the top. That isn't to say that, like, she didn't have scholastic accomplishments or like whatever else. But, it's like, it is weird to watch that video in the past of her on the red carpet with Montel Williams and be like, oh, yeah, you are like a Gavin Newsom type person. It's like you have all the colors that people want. You have the gender that people want to feel progressive. But all of those things, you being a woman and being half black, half Indian, whatever, doesn't matter because you're a fucking asshole and you're terrible at anything. You're terrible at communicating to the public about this problem that you moralized about, because the acting job, she did it well. Babies in cages, babies in cages, babies in cages. But then once you're actually faced with the opportunity to do something useful or pragmatic regarding this unfuckable issue, you're now seeing what happens, which is that she's gobsmacked. She has like no ability to handle anything.
No, she's so incompetent.
It was pretty funny to watch. We're going to interview Steve Cox next weekend, but to watch him wade into the K-Hive. And I already told him about this, so I don't feel bad saying it on here, but like, yeah, dude, like these black identitarian people are out of their fucking mind. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, again, what I just said, you can be a minority that we all seem to very, in a racist way, coddle and praise in this, like our society's gotten really weird about like black people in particular, but you can still be a dick, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's crazy. So like, again, like we've talked about it. So like, you know, our neighborhood is, you know, I would say 65% black, 20, what's the math on that? Like 35% like Latino. And then like we're kind of like the only white people. I literally almost died in a drive-by shooting if I had been in that intersection 40 seconds beforehand.
Yeah.
Like there are like serious fucking problems, you know? And it's like, oh, it's cartoonish to me because it's like, okay, so like we're on the ground, like we live in this shit. Like I literally, guys, I'm not joking. Like the intersection through which there was like, I guess the story, I guess, is like there was a rival gang member walking around our neighborhood, and then people in a car with guns. I was like, bringing the dog up the stairs, heard 4 loud bangs. It sounded too loud to be a gun, but then we heard like tires screeching. We're like, oh fuck. Yeah. And then cops like cordoned off the area immediately. But like literally the intersection where it happened I was in that intersection walking the dog through it 40 seconds beforehand. Mm-hmm. Like 40 seconds. And so the PMC, like the professional managerial class, people like her, they don't have any connection to.
They've never once been exposed to anything like that.
And it's like, even if you're like the menace Lori Lightfoot, it's like even like similar to her, like she lives in the worst of all this, and then to deflect from any reality where the neighborhood you live in might be terrible, or like you have any accountability or any responsibility for how bad things are around you, they just use race as like this deflection. Mm-hmm. It's really fucking funny. But honestly, like, I mean, people, I talk to people about the drive-by shooting, and they're like, well, you scared? And I'm like, no, I was fucking angry. I was like mad. I literally was mad. I was like so mad for a while that like I couldn't even. I was like, you need, like, you were like, are you okay? I'm like, I just need a few seconds to just decompress, because it just pisses me off. Like it's the point is, like, being on the ground, seeing shit is literally this bad to where someone would be so brazen to like just blast off 4 shots when there were tons of people around too. Yeah. And it was the middle of the fucking day. It was not nighttime.
It was probably like 6 p.m.
Yeah. I think it was like 7:15, but like the sun definitely had not gone down yet. Yeah. And that the person who did that, it was totally fine in their mind. You know? And that's sort of the mystery to me of like, that's like why I was mad. I was like, what? Like, why the fuck would this person think this is okay to just do this? Like, what life experience up until this point led them to believe that this was fine? And then after it happened, that kid was walking down below, and then he was like, yeah, it's getting really, really bad around here. And I was like, yeah, no, I agree. He's like, no, I got shot about a month ago. And I was like, wait, what? And then he's like, he pulled down his shirt, like had a bullet hole right here.
Yeah, it went straight through.
And I was like, well, were you in the middle of like a crossfire like this? He's like, no, literally someone just started pumping rounds into my car.
Yeah.
For no fucking reason. So fuck people like this. Fuck the K-Hive that was attacking Steve, and vice versa. And it's like, and then also mostly what was like the just the part that we always fucking see was the most aggressive people calling Steve a racist for going after the K-Hive people were fucking white women. Every time. And the men who do it are even worse. And there were a handful of them too. It's like they have no connection to this. They wouldn't talk like that. They wouldn't defend someone like Kamala Harris. They wouldn't, again, because like her prosecutorial record largely leads to what we're seeing here. Anyway, I don't even know what my point is. It's just like I figured we probably should mention that did happen. It was wild. I mean, it was so fucking brazen, and like, and look, you know, like we hear gunshots around here all the time. Like, this area is proper rough, you know, but this is the first time where I've been like, holy shit, like they will just shoot out of a car. Like,
in broad daylight.
In broad daylight.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So, I don't know what my point is.
I don't really either, but I think it was worth saying.
Yeah. I guess.
What else are we going to talk about, you know? Okay. Yeah, I mean...
In this country, people have guns.
Okay. I'm excited to see Steve because, like, we haven't talked to him in a while. When was the last time we talked to him?
It was probably 2 months ago.
Oh, really?
I think so.
That recent?
Let me see. I actually...
Last time we did a show with him, because, like, I vaguely don't even remember talking to him about, like, the new presidency. And, like...
We did, because, like, we talked about the insurrection and how we
think
it's
that's
the
right.
Insurrection.
The insurrection.
Donald Trump incited an erection at the Capitol.
But yeah, I was gonna say vaguely. I don't even remember talking to him during that time.
Oh,
but
4 months ago.
4 months ago. Great.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess like really like I'm just excited to, or looking forward to like talking to him about just how like 'cause I think we did mention it when we did our last show with him, but like how disappointing but like expected all of this was. Their presidency, it's awful, and like we knew from the start, we've been saying it from the start. But hopefully by now more people will have woken up to that fact. More people who were like uber on their side.
Right. Yeah. Well, and he wasn't. But I think that like one of the interesting transformations of his, and again, I was talking to...
I know he wasn't. I'm not saying that he was.
No. Yeah. But is this thing of... When we first interviewed him, it was this, everything was led with as a straight white male.
Yeah.
And it's like,
fuck that
I think
shit.
I think that like something I'm going to say when we do talk to him is just like, yeah, how is that serving you to do that? Because these people are now, like, white people are being this new version of racist, which is this low expectation. Basically, literally, it's like the magical Negro thing. It's like which is
what is that?
It's like a movie trope. Like The Green Mile, for example, where Michael Clark Duncan is like, he's this kind of low IQ black guy, but he has like these magical powers, like where like black people can't exist in film or media unless they're like magic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like this trope, but it's like now the PMC like white liberal class have made black people into that movie trope. It really is just becoming ridiculous, where it's like, you know, we walk around our neighborhood here and like all of our neighbors are like generally our friends, but we don't talk to them like they're like different than us, which
right.
is why I think that we are friendly with them, you know. But it's like, it was interesting, like, you know, Eric, we mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, like I walked over to Northgate with him, and then, you know, and then like we like
Northgate is a Mexican market that's basically on our block.
Yeah. And so Red was outside, like our neighbor, and Red's like a very loud dude. Like, and so sometimes it's hard to tell if he's angry or if he's just happy.
Right.
Always happy was what we've learned now.
Yeah.
But him and I were just shooting the shit, and I was like being as loud as him and whatever. Eric, the most woke, posting slacktivism stuff on Instagram, was terrified of him.
Mm-hmm.
So scared. And it's like, oh, this is what it's about. You know, like it's why I don't post this kind of shit, because people are people, you know. And yeah, you know, obviously you do notice like what is physically different, but at the same time, it's like, you know, having the dog I have is like a great ambassador to just like meeting neighbors or whatever, because it's like this sort of commonality point, and then you then get over whatever just sort of instinctual prejudice you have, and then make friends with your neighbors. Like, where all this gang shit happens, and then they're like, yeah, we don't want that shit here either.
Right.
Like, fuck it. Like, we're all here to protect each other. But like, the people who are the most, like the white liberals who are the most sort of protective of people like our neighbor Red are the ones who are the most scared of him, which is like what is so funny to me. And I think that Steve's
Good
like,
Lord, I can't focus.
Yeah.
I got it.
That's also, our neighborhood makes a lot of sounds. Like, I think that Steve, like, ever since we first met him, has gone through this transformation of now realizing this reality. And it's like, oh, I want somebody who's older than you, you know, like
right,
where the people who are trying to censor the way that you speak about things are the ones who are not going to be your ally, because you will because there's this purity spiral has no bottom with this. I've really started to wonder.
It has no bottom?
It has, yeah.
During Pride Month?
Which is
what a disaster.
The biggest tragedy of the whole thing. Yeah.
Two tops don't make a bottom.
Yeah, it's just this. What's like with the foreskin they were talking about?
Docking.
Where
you put two penises. Both can be uncircumcised, but at least one of them has to be. And you sort of shuffle the foreskin back and forth over the two dicks.
Being alive.
So, yeah.
That is the feeling of being alive. Docking with another man.
Exactly. I agree. Well, I don't know. I've never experienced this.
No, I haven't either. I don't think it's something that people really do.
Have you had sex with somebody that has a foreskin?
No. Have I? No.
Yeah.
No, everybody's been cut.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like so boring. Give me some flavor.
Yeah.
Give me some like ambiguity.
Yeah, I think you have to like go to Europe to find that.
Oh yeah, you do.
Oh yeah, you do. Anyway, it is like it'll be interesting to talk to him about that. Like just because like, you know, again, the person who's used to listen to our podcast is like largely what I was talking to him about yesterday. Like he was like, yeah, I'm having a lot of problem with this ableist thing. I was like, what are you talking about?
What does that even mean?
And he was like saying that his audience gets mad at him for saying things like psycho, which is so funny to me. It's like, cause I was like very calm and rational when I was talking to this person of like, look, I've said it on here before. Like I have bipolar. I'm not proud of it. I don't think it's an interesting identity feature of my life or whatever, but the mania does sort of manifest occasionally. It has like 2 times to where like I'm naked and think I'm Jesus. I mean, like it literally gets to like that level of psychotic where like my friends who witness things like this go like, you were acting like a fucking psycho. And I'm like, I know. Yeah. You know? And so I am not offended by people making fun of things like that or using any kind of terminology regarding it, because I don't find being bipolar to be terribly interesting.
Right.
Or being gay for that matter.
Right.
But I'm starting to wonder, what's interesting is like people like him think that I hate trans people, for example. And it's like, no,
which you do, yeah.
Oh, I absolutely do. Yeah.
And he's right.
Yeah, I'm really after listening to my history lessons about Ernst Röhm, I'm starting to really like consider some really cool ideas. No, I mean it's mostly just like I'm really stuck in this position now of is this sort of never-ending infighting of the left, is it a feature of the left? Like can it actually get divorced? Because I really don't think it can be now. Because, for example, something like drama I just did not really care about. There's two different drama things. But was the Jimmy Dore thing with the Young Turks, right?
That's right.
Where they had this weird tirade about Aaron Mate, who is a great journalist, over the OPCW report about Syria, and the Young Turks, for some fucking reason, decided to go after Aaron Mate. Fuck you, like whatever dumb shit they say all the time, and then tried to cynically use Me Too stuff against Jimmy because Jimmy Dore, apparently when he worked for the Young Turks, Anna Kasparian was wearing this like skimpy little miniskirt, and he made some comment about it. Everyone laughed. He apologized, gave her a card. But then what's so funny is then Jimmy Dore pulls all these clips of the Young Turks being misogynist, and then the argument became about who's the bigger misogynist and why that matters, which is what Me Too always does. It just like inserts itself into like, because like what the whole thing was about in the first place was, hey, maybe we shouldn't bomb Syria.
Right.
And Aaron Mate. But then it became about like women. Me Too always always, oh, something actually important. Let's just get in here real quick.
Look at me.
We're not getting enough attention here. Every single time. And so like it was just so fucking dumb. Like it's so fucking dumb. And then again, just this infighting or tribal stupid bullshit. Then the Ethan Klein thing from H3H3 Productions was going to debate Crowder. By the way, debate bro culture, enough. I like, why? It's the dumbest fucking shit on the planet. I fucking hate that whole thing. And then he gets Sam Cedar on, who sucks as much as all of it, like those two as well, to then debate Crowder. Crowder bailed. I don't know.
Yeah, Crowder like originally like refused to debate Sam Cedar, and then they had Sam Cedar secretly on H3. Ethan brought Crowder onto H3, and then Cedar showed up. You know.
So again,
and it's so gay.
The more important point is that I hope the three of them, Crowder, Ethan Klein, and Sam Cedar, die in a car fire.
I agree.
So it's like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, we've shit. I mean, again, this is what, episode 115. I have easily 35 hours of me saying that Steven Crowder is a fucking unfunny knob. Like, closeted homosexual, needs to just take 7 different dicks, faggot, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Klein is one of the dumbest people on the fucking planet, and also a big fucking crybaby baby. And Sam Cedar is basically a whiter mouthpiece that talks just like the Young Turks. I think he actually is also a Young Turks alum, which is interesting. So just fucking morons, all of them. But
who
again,
even watches these people anymore for this kind of content?
Nobody. I mean, like, what's interesting is, like, so, you know, Jimmy Dore made it very clear, because he's still massively successful, and to the left with their endless purity spiral, Jimmy Dore is this Nazi. he's now.
Yeah, how has that happened?
He's now on pure. I don't know. I honestly don't know, because it never ends. Like it literally never. And it does kind of make sense logically, because everything has to become a problem. And the end goal for the left is this, like, utopia that doesn't take into account the diversity of thought of just humans in general and what they're willing to tolerate. But instead of just sort of being more libertarian about stuff, meaning that, like, okay, well, we don't like when you say retarded, but live and let live, and we won't say it, and everyone just goes, great, like, you are the better person for not saying retarded, but I'm going to keep saying it because I'm a piece of shit, right? And then they go, cool. Instead of doing that now, it's become this, like, no, you must speak the way we want you to speak. It's like this new sort of demand thing from the left, where it's like, we demand, and it's so weirdly myopic in terms of just human behavior. There's no fucking way anyone's going to change their behavior when someone demands that they do it differently. I mean, like, everyone's allergic to that. They're just, no. And I think it's largely, when I speak about the trans community, it's like, you get out of your own fucking way. Like, people would be cooler with you if you just didn't, like, you just existed and just, I'm like, hey, we're here. Sorry, you don't like it. We don't really care. But no, it's now, you must love us, and that doesn't do. I want you to get out of your own way because I want you to progress. But the left really is just a mess. It's just totally a fucking mess. And frankly, I mean, the problem is, like, most of the legislative body that does push sort of leftist ideals are so ineffective at accomplishing any of it. And at this point, what they're demanding are ridiculous things. So, you know, like, abolish the police. Like, okay, sweetie, you know, great. Like, you know, you talk to anybody around here who is the people that they claim to be talking to, and what do they say? Well, we want more police. We would like them to be around more. But they have this sort of, again, magical Negro myopic vision of what black people actually want or don't want. And it's mostly white PMC people who, no, I know what black people want. I know. I do. I know. So.
Right. Okay. Boring. On to the next. What should we talk about first? We got 2 things here. John Macafee was suicided.
Yeah, that's really.
He died in jail. Which is interesting because I think back in 2014 he tweeted, "Just so you guys know, I will never, ever, ever, ever kill myself. In fact, I'm getting a tattoo that says so. so that if I do end up dead, I was killed.
Did he really say that?
Yes.
I believe him.
Shuon had tweeted it.
He's out of his fucking mind. I mean, like, well, was,
yes,
anyway.
he is. Let me find the actual tweet.
We're gonna talk about Britney Spears. Don't worry about it.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. Yeah.
That'll
Did somebody
last.
comment that?
Greg.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. Let's see. Yeah, John Macafee. I don't know when he tweeted this actually, but it says getting subtle messages from U.S. officials saying, in effect, "We're coming for you, Macafee. We're going to kill yourself. We are going to kill yourself," is what he said. "I got a tattoo today just in case. If I suicide myself, I didn't. I was whacked. Check my right arm." And then the Mirror breaking news reported, breaking, UK-born computer pioneer John Macafee found dead in prison cell in Spain.
Yeah. So
What did he know?
That's
What
kind of
did he know?
Well, that's kind of the interest. Like, let me know. So
Let me know.
So So a lot of his sort of like the attempts to like extradite him reminded me a lot of Assange, where it was like I could not really pinpoint exactly what it was that he was on the run from. So like he lived in Venezuela for a while. Belize, I think, is where he was last. But he hadn't lived in the States since he sold the antivirus software and became a very wealthy man. But, you know...
what was his crime again?
That's tax evasion, I suppose.
Okay.
Like, but again, it reeks of like Assange. Like,
Yeah.
But let's also be clear. I mean, I've listened to several McAfee interviews. Like, he did one with, like, I'm going to list all the no people that I've heard interview him. So Gavin McInnes interviewed him, and I listened to that. Gavin was, even for Gavin McInnes, was dumbfounded at how, like, John McAfee in the last 5 years is more cocaine than man. You know, so like it really is this sort of like why. And then I think Sam Hyde, another no person, interviewed him. But I've listened to John McAfee talk a lot, like in the last 7 or 8 years, and the dude's just he's crazy. But it occasionally he will he will, you know, like I mean he had videos on his Twitter where like there were definitely CIA people spying on him, like and you think he's being paranoid, but then he would like document it several different times, and so. I don't really know what it was that was so, again, like it's like Trump, like what was so scary about John McAfee? I don't really know. I mean, you could have just sort of dismissed him as like this sort of lunatic person and then it would have just gone away, but they just kept bothering him. I don't really.
He must have been some kind of threat to something.
I don't know.
Or someone.
Maybe on like a technological level or like crypto. I don't really know, but like I don't think he killed himself.
I don't either.
But to be perfectly honest, I found him as somebody who I thought would have interesting things to say. I found him so difficult to listen to or follow just because he's, again, more cocaine than man.
Yeah.
Or was. So it was just impossible to sort of follow his logic line of thinking or really what his point was most of the time. So I didn't really dive into the story very deeply other than just kind of like, well, that's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Did you any more than that?
No. Do you remember when he was shitting through hammocks into people's mouths?
Well, or I think that he was the one receiving.
Oh, yeah. He was receiving shit through hammocks into his mouth.
I mean, God bless. I don't know. I mean, like that was like again like one of those sort of like weird it reeked of like an op though. It was just
absolutely.
It was just sort of like why is this important? Like and then
cares?
Like those things that kind of like organically enter the zeitgeist, like where we see no evidence of him participating in this, but it just becomes this sort of earworm through which we all just now know that he likes getting poop in his mouth. I guess
it's like. It's not an apt comparison, but Dan Schneider with his foot thing.
Yeah.
But there is evidence of him making children show their feet on TV. So, whatever. Well, that immediately... I think Dan Schneider's a fucking...
cool.
Creep, but he's a really cool guy.
Well, and I think that, like... I think with McAfee, it's like... It's consenting adults, like, who cares? Like, honestly, like... it's kind of like that New York City... guy that was running for some like borough president or something, and then they leaked the footage of him doing in the BDSM dungeon.
Yeah, that came out like last week.
Why is this okay to be like a dig?
He also was just like, hey, like, I participated in this thing with a consenting adult.
Yeah. And
they published revenge porn of me. It's
sex should really just not enter the discussion at all. Like
Not at
how
all.
you choose to fuck or what
It's so dumb.
organic matter you choose to eat. Who really cares?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't really have like a really grand take on that one. I'm gonna probably try to do some more investigating and figure out more of it. I don't know.
I don't really either.
Yeah. Britney Spears.
Britney Spears.
This is another one I think you probably will know more about it than I. I mean, I was aware of the conservatorship thing and how just bizarre it was, because the thing that like really struck me was like a big part of the justification for the conservatorship was how she would spend her money, because I think she's like on an allowance or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, so like let's say today she decides to buy 17 Bugattis or whatever, like, just blow all of her money in a dumb way.
Yeah.
Literally she could do a weekend in Vegas and make it all back. So so that doesn't track, obviously. Anyway, I pulled up an article, like maybe it'll kind of...
Yeah, please. Because I honestly haven't done too much reading on it. I just know, like, I know people are mad at her sister as well.
It's her dad and her... I don't know. This is a very loosey-goosey podcast. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Free Britney, a bipartisan cause on Capitol Hill after impassioned testimony. Britney Spears has finally brought bipartisanship to Congress since her explosive testimony to a Los Angeles courtroom asking a judge to free her from a conservatorship overseen by her bullying and abusive father. Spears' cause has been taken up by Capitol Hill polls on both sides of the aisle. Hashtag Free Britney reads a pair of tweets from Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz and the official account of the GOP House Judiciary Committee.
This
members.
timeline, I swear to God.
What
like,
the
where
fuck?
Ted Cruz is
tweeting about Britney Spears.
Anyway.
It's insane you can force a woman to basically sterilize herself under the guise of protection.
That one's fucking weird.
Insane,
like, they force
right?
her to get like an IUD.
And she can't take it out because they won't let her go to the doctor.
Fucking weird, yeah.
Yeah. Under the guise of protection, if this is happening to Britney Spears, how many other women across the country are silently suffering? Tweeted Representative Nancy Mace, who's a Republican from South Carolina. Since the beginning, men have exercised control over women's bodies, minds, and aspirations. Carolyn Maloney, a Democrat from New York, told the Post, Ms. Spears, along with women around the world, are entitled to full autonomy of their bodies, rights, and financial assets.
You know who like really is living their best life?
Who?
Kevin Federline. I mean, he's just like fat now and like takes care of her kids and like lives on like alimony from her.
Fuck yeah.
He's got the best life. Anyway.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Others spoke out about Spears' claims that her guardians would not allow her to see a doctor to remove an IUD.
It's fucking weird.
That is insane. Reproductive coercion is wrong, period, says Barbara Lee, Democrat from California. Said in a tweet, everyone should have the freedom to make choices over their own bodies and reproductive care. Jamie Spears and her father are said to tightly control the $60 million estate since Britney suffered a public meltdown in 2007. One meltdown.
Right, and mostly because she probably got diddled.
Yeah. What is her diagnosis? Do we think she has BPD?
Let's actually take a look-see here. So I want to see if I can find her testimony, too. Britney Spears.
Yeah, I'd like to see it as well if we can get some like little quotes.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can find it, but let's see. Personal.
Oh, yeah, for her diagnosis or whatever.
I'll read this one because...
Yeah. It's really small.
It's small.
I cannot see.
In January 2008, Spears refused to relinquish custody of her sons to Federline's representatives. She was hospitalized at Cedars after police that had arrived at her house noted she appeared to be under the influence of an unidentified substance. The next day, Spears' visitation rights were suspended in an emergency court hearing, and Federline was given sole physical and legal custody of the children. She was committed to the psychiatric ward of Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center and put on 5150, which is like an involuntary psychiatric hold under California state law. The court placed her under conservatorship led by her father, her sister, and attorney Andrew Wallet. That's a really great attorney name.
I'm Andrew Wallet.
I'm Andrew Wallet.
Also, Jamie Spears would have been like 18 around this time.
Yeah.
Right? She was really young.
So let's say 2008. Let's see how old she is now.
She's like in her...
Wait,
what?
that might be her dad.
Oh, her dad is also named Jamie. Oh, Jamie Lynn Spears.
I see. Weird. Okay.
Oh, that is really weird the way they worded that.
Okay, so let's see.
Okay, whatever.
Let's see. Where's her?
I was gonna say, like, if her sister, but now seeing that doesn't actually look like her sister is a part of it.
I
But
don't
people
know.
were fucking dogpiling Jamie Lynn.
I don't know if she. I don't know if she has like a diagnosis actually.
Yeah, I thought I saw somewhere that she had borderline, but I'm not sure.
That's kind of like a easy one to to just
That's an easy mental illness.
Well, just like an easy one, just to, like a blanket diagnosis.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see here, Britney. Oops. Spears.
Are you gonna look up her testimony?
Yeah,
I'd like to see it. If there is like footage of it anywhere.
Let's see.
Analysts.
Let's just see.
2 days ago. That looks like it could be it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a.
I haven't been back to court in a long time because I don't think I was heard on any level when I came to court
This
the
is
last
her?
time. I brought 4 sheets of paper in my hands and wrote in length what I had been through the last 4 months before I came there. The people who did that to me should not be able to walk away so easily. I'll recap. I was on tour in 2018. I was forced to do. My management said if I don't do this tour, I will have to find an attorney.
Ms. Spears, I hate to interrupt you, but my court reporter is taking down what you're saying.
Okay.
And so you have to speak a little more slowly.
Oh,
so
of
she's
course,
able to
yes.
hear
Okay,
and,
I
and
apologize.
make a
Great.
record of everything you're saying.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's jump ahead a little bit. See if we can find the juice.
I'm finding it pretty interesting.
The people who
Yeah, but it's
time
22
in the
minutes.
studio and half of the other time in a Westlake studio. You can't walk out the front door. And that's why I'm telling you this again 2 years later. After I've lied and told the whole world I'm okay and I'm happy, it's a lie. I thought I said that enough. Maybe I might become happy because I've been in denial. I've been in shock. I am traumatized.
Sounds super
You know,
coherent.
fake it till you make
Yeah.
it. But now I'm telling you the truth, okay? I'm not happy. I can't sleep. I'm so angry, it's insane, and I'm depressed. I cry every day, and the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't think how the state of California can have all this written in the court documents from the time I showed up and do absolutely nothing, just hire with my money another person to keep my dad on board. Ma'am, my dad and anyone involved in this conservatorship and my management who played a huge role in punishing me when I said, no, ma'am, they should be in jail. Their cool tactics working for Miley Cyrus as she smokes on joints and stage at the VMAs. Nothing is ever done to this generation for doing wrong things. But my precious body, who's worked for my dad for the past fucking 13 years, trying to be so good and pretty, so perfect when he works me so hard, when I do everything I'm told in the state of California, allowed my ignorant father to take his own daughter, who only has a role with me if I work with him. They set back the whole course and allowed him to do that to me. That's giving these people I've worked for way too much control. They also threatened me and said if I don't go, then I have to go to court. And it will be more embarrassing me if the judge publicly
That must be
the
the person
evidence
who
we have.
recorded
You
this
have to
audio.
go. I was advised for my image, I need to go ahead and just go and get it over with. They said that to me. I don't even like to be able to do that. I would like to also, the main reason why I'm here is because
It's funny too, like, so it's hard to recognize like her speaking voice.
It's so strange.
But it's like she's now, like, it was like a love line thing with Dr. Drew and Adam Carolla where it's like the baby voice thing.
Baby voice, yeah.
And she's now going into the baby voice. You can hear it. It's kind of weird.
handpick my own lawyer by myself. And I would like to be able to do that. I would like to also, the main reason why I'm here is because I want to end the conservatorship without having to be evaluated. I've done a lot of research, ma'am, and there's a lot of judges who do end conservatorships for people without them having to be evaluated all the time. The only times they don't is if a concerned family member says something's wrong with this person and otherwise. And considering my family has lived off my conservatorship for 13 years, I won't be surprised if one of them has something to say and go forward and say, we don't think this should end. We have to help her, especially if I get my family can
so
end.
terrible.
For people, it has ended with.
This is like the most, I'm glad this actually leaked because like this is the most point that I've ever heard her about it.
Yeah.
And like she, you know, it's like weird. Like when you like go look at her social media presence or whatever, you're just like, oh, she's a fucking nutcase.
Mm-hmm.
Then you hear this and you're like, maybe not.
without them being evaluated. So I just want you to take that in consideration. I've also done research. Also took a year during COVID to get me any self-care methods during COVID. She said there were no services available. She's lying, ma'am. My mom went to the spa twice in Louisiana during COVID. For a year, I didn't have my nails done, no hairstyling and no massages, no acupuncture, nothing for a year. I saw the maids in my home each week with their nails done different each time. She made me feel like my dad does, very similar, her behavior and my dad, but just a different dynamic. Team wants me to work in...
Anyway.
We need Chris Crocker back.
Leave Britney alone.
To put on that scruffy Party City shake and go wig, that blonde bob, and to go, give Britney her throne. That's what we need.
She deserves it.
That's what we need.
She is. I mean, like, you know, Toxic's a great song.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Max Martin?
Pharrell did. And
oh, really?
Wait. No, Max Martin wrote that one. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a genius song.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Yeah.
But, God, I mean, she has so many great hits.
Yes. Yeah.
This poor fucking woman.
And I think that it is weird because she is, you know, I don't know how like technically talented she actually may or may not be, but at the same time, it's kind of what makes this whole thing so sick and gross, like kind of what she's talking about in terms of like her whole thing in the 90s was to be just basically like a 16-year-old that adults want to fuck. And so like her whole image was like curated to look like that, and just really like, even like, you know, Hit Me Baby One More Time was like her in like a schoolgirl outfit in like a high school.
Yeah.
And then it's like about like abuse. Like, I don't know. I mean, like her whole thing is just like really bizarre. And but she's like somebody who like never, you know, she brought up Miley Cyrus. Like Miley Cyrus seemed to kind of be able to control her image or whatever. Mm-hmm. It seems like Britney was never really able to do that.
No.
And so.
Well, Miley Cyrus kind of she was controlled for quite a while until the Wrecking Ball era. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm, yeah. That
was like 2013, 2014 when she sort of broke free from these like constraints or whatever.
Well, then like, yeah, it was like all these like young pop star lit people, you know, Billie Eilish is going through it right now where it's just like the slut phase, you know, like where they just kind of get like they're like, oh yeah, like I'm a sexual being. And so then they get like really over the top about it. And then I think Miley Cyrus is like, she's now kind of found her equilibrium in terms of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like funny to watch Billie Eilish doing the same thing now. You're like, oh yeah.
They kind of overshoot it and then they come back and find who they are. But I mean Miley Cyrus was like a Disney girl, so of course was fucking diddled.
Yo, gay.
Oh, gay. That's such a good. There's a whole video of Miley Cyrus like Hannah Montana transitions. Oh, gay. You're gay.
Gay.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. They're all sort of like snippets of her song, but just like a vocal riff on what her song sounds like.
And this one's just the classic. Gay. The seagulls. I love hearing the seagulls.
Well, she lived in like Malibu or something.
Were you a Hannah Montana person?
No, not really. No, my sister was though. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I did see like quite a bit of it. Yeah, I mean, look, like any child star, but if Miley Cyrus is the example,
they definitely got finger blasted by an adult.
They were raped.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Why are they all so crazy?
Of course, in 2008, like Britney did, you're going to fucking break and have a meltdown, a public freakout, r/public freakout, the first ever post on that subreddit. because you are lashing out. And you will have to pendulum swing back to where you were before, you know?
Britney's thing is bizarre, though. I mean, just in terms of like imagine being, I mean, she's like probably like, I mean, she's probably like 78 years old now. It's like, you know,
Britney Spears, 78.
Yeah.
She's not even. What is she, like 38?
Hang on a second.
And she looks 29. Oh, she looks a little bit older than 29. What are we looking at here?
I'll show you.
Okay.
Speaking of tragedies, Britney Spears.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
And we don't need to do. This is what I wanted.
Interesting.
I like getting older though, because for me, the kind of guy I am, getting older makes my life better. You know, like my sex life way better.
What kind of guy are you?
Because of the kind of look. Because
Remember
this
that.
situation is okay at 45. This is not a fun kind of a 17-year-old to be. And some people, their life is better when they're younger. You know, young dudes, young skinny dudes. Best life in the world is being a young skinny dude. They don't have to do anything. They just show up with a big Adam's apple and a smelly t-shirt. Hey, I'm here for the easy pussy for the rest of my life. So where do I, oh, everywhere? Okay, cool. But for guys like me, this is not a fun youth. It gets better.
This has a point. Don't worry.
I'd like to make one of those "it gets better" ads for just dumpy young guys. We could use a little help, a little encouragement. Just somebody on TV. Listen, man, I know it's tough right now.
He's always kind of looked like a middle-aged, dumpy
But
man.
it gets better.
I can't picture him as a
Because
young person.
No,
And you pretty
it's
much
just
look just like
him.
this your whole life.
Yeah.
And they don't. Their options start running out really fast, and you're gonna be there. As long as you stay relatively employed and washed, you're gonna be amazing. In your 40s, you're gonna be the branch that she. It just takes time. It's gonna happen.
I hope it's in this.
When real shit
Yeah,
matters,
I hope so,
you're gonna
too.
be this. There's a formula to this. It's pussy plus time. Everybody has their time.
Maybe not.
I really do want to get it though, because.
Speaking of tragedies, Britney Spears.
Anyway, like he's like the joke that Louis C.K. tells is like he's like when I was 30, Britney Spears was 17. I'm 45 now, and she's 78 years old. And
She did not age that poorly.
no, that's not his point. It's just more of like a life lived hard.
that's
anyway,
true,
I had
yeah.
to fluff some of the time there because I ran out of things to say.
That's
so.
fine. I mean, we're at an hour, so.
Yeah. So next Saturday, Steve Cox. I was thinking I'll do. We should probably just like start the show for like 15 minutes and then have him come in. And,
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Yeah, I just to try it that way, so it's not just like here we all are.
Yeah,
know?
let's go.
So I think it might be a little more fun that way. So
Great.
Anyway, that's that.
Fantastic.
We will
Yeah, we're here every Saturday, 3 p.m. from now on. If that changes, we'll let you know.
All right. Adios.
Bye.
It's